Okay, generally my job as a real estate photographer isn't too challenging. The better a property is laid out, the better it looks, the easier it is to photograph. The challenge in a lot of real estate photography is you don't have a lot of time to do the shots. You've got to just get in, get out, shoot it, get it all the angles that people would want, and follow the kind of 5 basic rules as well, which I'll explain in a future video. But this is a property which I would say is probably one of the most difficult types of properties to shoot well. It's it's unfurnished, so it's difficult to make it look good. Secondly, the time of day which I've got to shoot it in, we've got blinding sun blasting in through the window. So we've got incredibly bright spots on the ground. We've got white walls which reflect a lot of stuff, so that'll help with the flash. But then at the same time we've got rooms at the very back which are lit just by little spotlights, which I need to figure out how to turn them all on, which have absolutely no comparison to the blinding light of outside. So somehow I'll have to be able to do shots of from there and still be able to expose for inside the kitchen area. And the other challenge is to make sure there's consistency between each room, each photo, so that it doesn't look like it's completely taken on a different day, different white balance, and it just looks completely different. So you've got to have consistency from one room to another, and yet go from that room to this room. That's the challenge of real estate photography without it looking completely different. So you really need to be on top of how you do all your settings. And this one, but there's not even blinds on the windows that I could pull down. So this one may actually be one of the very, very, very few times that I ever do some form of exposure compensation, as in like a HDR. It's not HDR, but it'll be a photo where I expose more for that area, and I may do some editing afterwards. But yeah, real estate photography, easy if the property looks good, difficult when you're fighting blinding sunshine versus tiny little spotlights.